Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee. It's good to see everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Um, and there we are. So, for some reason, not everything is showing up the way it's supposed to be, but okay, sure. You know, my logo's not there. Like nothing is there. That is just that's so wrong. Oh, there we go. There's the logo there's my logo now. Why is that showing? Oh, this is how you know it live, guys. Like I go live and then I notice everything's broken. Um so I am joined this morning once again by God damn it. I know your name, dude. Kurtis Joseph. It wasn't that I forgot your name, it's just it wouldn't come out. ADHD's a motherfucker, guys. So good morning and welcome to this Sunday edition of Satan and Coffee, the Black Mass. One thing I constantly keep forgetting to do is the opening Mass prayer. So, as we always begin, we reject the Trinity, we reject the baptism of John, and we reject the baptism of the Spirit. Hail thyself. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everybody. So, when was the last time you were on, man? It was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? 2 or 3. Yeah, Kurtis is definitely becoming a regular. Like he's becoming a resident co-host. It is, man, and I love having you on. Definitely is. So this morning, what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be going into, is we're kind of, I kind of want to say this is kind of like a expansion and kind of what we we're talking about last night on Apocrypha. So Apocrypha were kind of this one's a little bit more raw. Like, so I feel like, so as you guys know, Apocrypha is kind of set up in that way where it's like we try to cater to everybody, so to speak. And Satan and Coffee is we kind of rip the Band-Aid off, and I just don't give a fuck. Like, if you're offended, then I don't know, go suck a toe or something. I don't know. Like, so, and this is definitely becoming Satan and Coffee is definitely becoming kind of like the flagship show on the channel, especially because there's 3 episodes a week. We do Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So, and it's something that I'm really enjoying. But anyway, so the topic this morning, what we're talking about, is kind of how I have it titled is Toxic Positivity and the Death of Grit, right? And the idea here is the same as similar to last night, where it's just this incessant necessity, like, to be positive all the goddamn time, like, especially in the occult, like this whole love and light shit. Like, I honestly think it's fine to be positive and have a positive outlook. There's nothing against that, right? And I don't think I need to say that, right? I'm not saying like, oh, you need to be a miserable son of a bitch, right? It's like you're not putting it on the other side of things. But everybody that I see online is just this love and light shit. Like, everybody's like, it's just, and they create this personification of themselves, right? Where they seem happy and positive like all the fucking time. And it's not authentic. It's disingenuous. It's not real. And we're falling in love with fucking fantasy here, you know? And it's like, I'm sorry, but the occult, being in the occult in general, regardless of what left-hand path, right-hand path, no path, whatever the fuck you want to be on, it's about being uncomfortable. Like, it's about facing shit. You know, what are your thoughts, man?
Biggest beefs in regard to the occult. It's a bunch of posers.
Here, 1 second, dude. Your audio's not coming through on stream. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why it keeps doing this, but it keeps messing up my audio on this. I have you on the right channel, but for some reason it's not coming through in Discord, which means I think Discord changed its shit again. Yeah, see, it's using Windows default everything for input and output, which is not what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be using voice chat for the output. Say something.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, there we go. Now we're working. Now it's working.
Okay. But yeah, it's in the occult. This is one of my biggest issues. It's the fact that nobody's authentic. Nobody has a real face out there. And their excuse is, oh, I don't want to get fired. I don't want people to know. And it's all disingenuous, including the positive love and light bullshit. So on the left and the right, it's a bunch of liars that you can't depend on. The moment you lie, the moment you act without integrity is the moment I kick rocks, dude. I'm turning around and never going to look at you again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to my face, man. You know, and there's a time for everything. Positivity is important,
Mm-hmm.
but ignoring problems is stupidity.
Well, and in my opinion, sometimes I think like positivity isn't even like the way that people project it. Like sometimes positivity can be like that internal kind of like that intent and motivation to move forward that can be very serious, you know?
Mhm.
And unfortunately, like the type of positivity that's getting
It's
projected.
superficial.
Exactly. It's the superficial shit. You know, sometimes positivity isn't, you know, like I sit here and I think, I know this is an extreme example, but I sit here and I think about like, you know, soldiers that go to war, you know, they're getting shot at all the goddamn time. You know, sometimes that positivity is the motivation to go through and kill a bunch of motherfuckers and know you're going to get onto the other side of it, or at least have the hope that you're going to get on the other side of it. You know, sometimes positivity isn't like superficial positivity, you know, sometimes it's
Right.
some dark shit.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. For sure. And the drive is real. You know what I mean? Like, it's real. It's not like an affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's like, oh, don't say things like that. Why are you saying things like that, man? Because I'm laying out fact.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reality, and we have to observe it to be able to change it. If we don't observe truth and we project superficial bullshit, what happens is that problem doesn't get solved. The roots of the problem grow deeper, and then they end up ruining shit later on down the road that we can't afford to ruin. So it's just not practical. Positivity has to work in synergy with practicality, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly. So yeah, I
as a
think.
matter of fact, I
Go
don't
ahead.
think it can exist without it. It
Mm-hmm.
can't exist without practicality.
I don't think it can. I mean, it's, or at least it shouldn't.
Oh,
It's so. I mean, just to give you guys an idea here, what we're talking about. So, like, what toxic positivity actually means, right? Is what. So we're talking. Is like, I would put it as like this superficial, positive attitude that everything's fucking, you know, cake and ice cream, and it's you know, there's no reason to be upset. There's no reason this. Like, even like going to a less extreme example, I'm sitting here thinking about it. Like, you know, when you have a family to support, you know, and you're tight on money and you got bills to pay, you know, you can either sit there and feel sorry for yourself or you can get your shit together. Like that drive of getting your shit together and pushing through to get to the other side, that's positivity. Like that's
yeah,
knowing
right.
like I'm capable and I'm going to get this shit done because I can.
Yeah,
To me, that's
right.
positivity, right? Not like, oh,
Yes.
I love everybody and everybody's so fucking. No, most people are fucking pieces of shit, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. And that means that the positivity deals more in the action.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta, I mean, look at the very term positive. That means like moving forward. Like it's in addition to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in addition to these thoughts, there's the action, the
Mm-hmm.
grit. as we call it. Buckle down, bear it, wrestle the fucking bull by the horns, and get it done, you know? And to be able to do it outside of the box, that's a gift in and of itself, man. Like even making money, that's a great example because a lot of people are very limited in that regard.
Yeah.
We limit ourselves with positive thoughts. Oh, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to have a wonderful job. But what skills do you have? What are you good at doing? How can you profit with your divine giving gifts? Do that, and you can make money now.
Exactly.
You know,
I've
that's
also,
positivity.
I'm a firm believer also that like that using like that mentality of I'm going to or I will is self-deprecating, right? Because that the language itself, and this is why I believe semantics are important. This is why I believe the definition of words as they have been created and used is extremely important, and we shouldn't be changing shit. So going to and will or I will isn't now. It's the future. Right? So if you say I'm going to or I will, that means you're not doing shit right now. Right? And it's not about the words that you use to say I am, because even that doesn't mean anything if you're not doing anything in the moment. It's the action of doing. It's don't say anything, just fucking do it.
The intention behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know, that's a good point because really, that's the law of attraction 101. If people want to get on new age love and light, I mean, that's what they'll tell you in The Secret. You can't say I will because then you're always going to be willing and you never get there.
Exactly.
And that's what you're manifesting, nothing. You have to state it as if it already is. And this is positive affirmation and magic too. It's all really the same. But yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, man, it's really the put up or shut up that gets it done. And this is where people forget in the occult, the witch's pyramid, dude, to be silent. You're putting out all this energy, projecting, talking all this shit about all these projects. And as you're doing it, people are having thoughts. They're grabbing your ideas and they're saying, oh, fuck that. That'll never work. While they're smiling at you. Or they're excited for you. But then all the excitement that's supposed to happen on the release of the product, it's already used and gone. So it dilutes the ideas. If you shut up, though, and you put your energy into cultivating the thing gets cultivated. You know, it gets done.
Yeah. 100%. That's actually, there's actual psychological proof, like scientific, like this isn't spiritual, like foo-foo shit. This is like scientifically proven that when you have a project or you're working on something and you share it with people and people get excited, it creates the same serotonin and dopamine response in the brain that when you actually complete the project, it makes you feel like you've already completed the work when you're not even halfway done. And the only reason, so for example, the only reason I'm like talking about Leora and Pip and the children's book and stuff like that is because it's halfway done. I have half of it finished already. You know, that first half is going to be released and then I have to work on the second half, and the second half of next year that the second half will be released. You know, so that's the only reason I'm talking about it, because I'm trying to build hype around it. But the thing is like, I didn't say shit until I had half of that fucking thing finished. Right? Nobody fucking knew about it. Not even Dyra. You know? And so it's one of those things that you need to keep that inside of yourself, because there is a reaction that happens in the brain when you complete a project, that sensation of accomplishment. But if you start sharing something at its inception, at the creation of the idea, and people are excited for it and think it's a good idea, that creates the same sensation as completing it. And then the motivation behind getting it done is gone.
Gone.
You just fucked yourself.
Yep. Self-sabotage. And you look, Ben, I've learned the hard way. I've learned the hard way. I came up in this field working under the guidance of a lot of different lodges, but I had a lot of friends through social media that I would talk to, and it never did me any good.
Mm-hmm.
It never did me any good. People are wasting their time and their life away. That's what I was doing. With the amount of messages I sent back and forth talking to people, I could have written 5 books.
Mm-hmm.
People need to think about that. All these Facebook witches out here talking about spell work all day, how to do this, answering questions because they want to be the next whoever in the occult, thinking that we actually make big money. Like, you're wasting your life.
Yeah.
Write a book.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's also like what we're talking. Exactly what we're talking about before we kind of started the show here. There's a point that we kind of made, both of us made, that I think was kind of like extremely important is the passion behind what you're doing, right? If you're doing something with the intention of making money, I promise you're probably not going to, because at this stage in life, in the world, right? Most things have already been created as original ideas. Everything we do now is a regurgitation of something that has already existed. There really isn't anything, like if you think about it, like something stupid, right? So if you think about the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, right, even the earlier 2000s to a certain degree, music-wise, right, there's always something innovative and interesting and different that came out, right? In the 70s and the 80s, you had Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Alice Cooper. The 90s, it was Marilyn Manson. You had Slipknot, all this stuff that, like, it shocked people. And they're like, holy shit, like, I didn't even know people could do this. Now here in 2025, nobody gives a shit. Nobody fucking cares, right? A 9-man
no one
act.
cares about 5-finger death punch. You know what I mean?
Nobody cares anymore. Like, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but everything that exists now is a regurgitation of what it was. I mean, look, the 90s look like it's coming back hardcore. Like this stupid shit that they're calling, like, Deftones used to be called new metal. Now they're being called shoegaze, which is, I think, it's just the most retarded fucking name for a genre of music. But now, like, there's a bunch of people that come out that sound like, Deftone ripoffs, right? And, they cater themselves to people that are nostalgic about the late 90s and early 2000s. It's like nothing is original anymore. And that doesn't mean don't do anything. But that means that what you do put your energy into, you have to have passion for it. That is what's going to differentiate you from everyone else that's doing it, is the passion. Because if you're doing it to make money, people are going to pick up on that shit quick, and you're not going to make a dime. But if you have a passion, that's what's going to separate things.
Definitely. And man, this is going to be harsh, but you have to have a certain amount of intelligence too to have passion. Like, sorry, most people aren't smart enough.
I agree.
Fucking dumb. Fucking dumb. You're fucking dumb. See, people think I sit here and brag about my IQ. No, my IQ is average. 125 is, my son's IQ is 131.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel like this, but the average IQ is 72. That's bad.
Which is a drop.
You are incapable, dude. Like, no wonder nothing original is coming out. No wonder, man. No one is smart enough to create. But this is what society has done to us.
They also avoid the pain of creation. Like most, if you look at like the most famous pieces of artwork, like that exist, paintings, whatever, digital, doesn't matter. Dude, there's pain in that shit. There's struggle in that shit. There was being laughed at. There was being shut down. Like, and they did it anyway. They did it anyway. They said, fuck you, I'm doing this anyway because I know it's going to work. And the problem is because people are so afraid, like, and this is the thing, like, the average IQ in the United States right now is, you're saying, is 72. The average IQ about 15, 20 years ago.
Jordan Peterson said that.
Okay, so the average IQ, as far as I'm aware, what it used to be back between like the 80s and 90s, was somewhere probably around like 85 to 95, which means we're looking at a significant drop in the average IQ overall for an American citizen. If that doesn't speak volumes to what's happening to society and how this comfort culture is killing us, we understand that stagnation is death. When you stop moving, you die.
Yes.
Right? So comfort culture is death with a bow on it. It's death with a fucking bow on it. You know?
It's Christianity, man. It all fits. Christianity is a death culture. Martyrdom.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about. And this is really what the toxic positivity comes from. We're going to go to heaven because we're poor. We're going to go to heaven because we're tortured. We're going to go to heaven because we're enslaved. We're such good people. We're wonderful because we're good and obedient.
Oh.
No,
and
that's not real.
And the thing is like with that, okay, so with the Christian thing, right? That's also becoming like a perpetuation in other things, not just Christianity. That everybody has, as we talked about this last night, that everybody has this incessant need to try to force everyone else to think the way that they think. It's like a Christian saying, you're going to go to hell because you don't believe in God, or because you're dressed in black, or because you listen to metal. Like, you're going to burn in hell, and there's going to be gnashing of teeth and all this. And it's the same thing. It's like, oh, you don't agree with abortion. Well, then, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. You don't agree with like complete open borders. Well, then you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Oh, you believe in the Second Amendment. Oh, and it's a perpetuation of that mentality of an incessant need to force everyone else to think the way you think, because everyone feels like they have some type of moral fucking high ground. And it's like, here's the thing, right? Do I agree with abortion? Nope, I don't. Do I believe in the Second Amendment? Yes, I do. Do I believe in complete open borders? Fuck no. Do I agree with immigration and people getting thrown out of the country that came in illegally? Yep, I do. Am I going to sit here and push that down your throat? No, I'm not. I'm not.
No,
if you disagree with me, cool.
We're smart enough to know that we are all entitled to our own opinions here. Within the United States of America, we are. Other places, it gets a little gray, but here specifically, that's allowed. And we all want to get rid of that. This is what people don't understand. They talk about promoting freedom, but really, they want us to all be enslaved.
100%, man. 100%.
And under this banner of democracy, positivity. But this is a constitutional republic. This isn't democracy.
Thank you. That irritates the fuck out of me when people say it's like our democracy. It's like, it's not, though.
No, but see, this is what I was taught in school too. This is a democracy, but it isn't. Why was I taught that? Why? I was lied to. But the positivity is in the doing. It is in the art. And the magic is life. You got to live your life. You got to engage with your fucking life, man. Like, even this fucking statue I did. Let me grab it real quick.
Yeah.
When I get fucking bored, I just make shit, dude. I did the statue of Boone.
That's awesome, man.
And there was that feeling of accomplishment. that, as long as I keep that going
Mm-hmm.
in my life consistently, I have joy, contentment.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I keep moving, like you were saying,
Yep.
when you stop moving, you're dead. I have joy, I have contentment. Sitting on a couch watching television, scrolling through Facebook, social media. I get miserable. I get fucking depressed.
Same,
I
dude.
get angry.
Same.
I get angry. I have to live.
Yeah.
I have to engage with my life. And that is my positivity. And when people get in the way of that, they might see some negativity.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not negativity to me. I'm being positive because I'm moving and you're not going to get in my way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I'm
So
not gonna
again,
I'm not gonna sit here and say that like I don't scroll on social media, but I keep it limited to like
oh,
5,
yeah.
10 minutes, like spurts. Like people see me all over social media and think like I live on this shit. And the thing is like the programs and the things that are the setup that I have that I told you about earlier, I have all of that specifically so I can focus on making the content, upload it, and then I don't have to worry about the platform. I don't have to go on the platform to upload it. I never have to look at it.
Right.
And that's important to me because going in and fucking around with shit stops the process. It stops the creativity. It stunts it.
Yeah, it does.
So like I'll do like maybe at night I'll do like 5-10 minutes of scrolling. In the morning I might do 5-10 minutes of scrolling. I try to do like the first hour of my day without touching my phone. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I don't. It is what it is. But it's just I do try to avoid social media at all costs. Like, so if people are sending me messages and stuff and you don't get responses, or like people commenting on the videos and stuff, they don't get responses for like a couple of days, a couple of weeks, it's because I'm not living in the shit. Like I make the content and then I close it out. Like I focus on making the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm constantly
That's
creating.
That's it, dude. And it's about the creation itself. You can't pay attention to views. You can't pay attention to numbers. None of that matters. The antinomian path is about us,
Mm-hmm.
our dharma, being in our calling, doing what entices our passion.
Mm-hmm.
That is the spirit awakening within the flesh, the passions,
Mm-hmm.
and capitalizing on those intelligently without hurting others. That's key. And as long as you can do that, in my eyes, you're being positive. And it takes grit to do things intentionally, dude, because we all got a lot of dark parts of ourselves that we have to learn to express, cope with, and deal with.
Yep.
Some people deal with it in different ways. If you're dealing with it through alcoholism, drugs, and domestic violence, it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're painting dark ass shit like this, that's grit. You're moving, you're evolving.
Yeah.
And that's positivity.
It's like
It's not false positivity.
Exactly. It's kind of like the base posts that I make for the week for like the my brand and stuff like that, or myself. Like there's a motivational quote to a point of like accepting responsibility, looking at yourself, like all of this shit, like in the post. But the imagery that I generally use pretty dark fucking imagery. And one, artistically speaking, I prefer the macabre. And two, I think it fits better, like with what I'm trying to do. And to your point and what you're saying, Kurtis, even Jung, if you go look at Carl Jung, The Symbolic Life, right? Repressing negative states leads to psychic imbalance, right? It's what you resist persists, right?
Yeah.
And it's not talking about like the Instagram version of this. It's real Jungian warning about unresolved shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, man, this is funny because This is one of the things you hear in this modern positivity movement too. Oh, that bitch got to do her shadow work.
Right? People that don't even know what the fuck shadow work is telling others that they need to do it.
Define that. Tell somebody how to do it, please.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how to do it, fool.
Right?
Everyone calling everybody a narcissist. Everyone's gaslighting, but nobody can define these terms.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. It's weaponization of trauma terms, man. Weaponized comfort.
Shadow work. That's a complex subject in and of itself. But when we look at Jung, I look at his ideology, man. A lot of our shadow work can be done on the dream plane, and that's how I teach it.
Mm-hmm.
Working with the subconscious and learning the language of the subconscious. That's what shadow work is to me. And there's a whole systematic way of doing it, you know?
Exactly.
Encountering dream symbols, beasts, monsters in dreams, dealing with them in specific ways, befriending them, employing them to work for the greater good on the subconscious plane, right? All this kind of stuff starts to bleed over into our conscious life.
Exactly.
And it's practical shadow work, and that's how you do it. But to sit there and just say, oh, that bitch got to do her shadow work, just because you are on this positivity kick and you don't agree.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, like, get out of here. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's so you can't chant your way out of suffering you refuse to face. Like you just can't, and you can't, project your own shit onto other people, because that's projection, like what we're talking about, right? People saying, oh, you need to do shadow work, or you need to do this, you need to do that, and especially like in a way that like trying to position themselves as somehow superior, or having some level of superiority. It's projection. You're projecting the fact that you haven't dealt with your own shit, right? And the thing is like, if you can't face your shit, you can't manifest a fucking backbone. Like, you have to earn that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like most of these people that do this love and light shit, and I mean, it's just like it's dangerous in my opinion, because it's telling people, it's like essentially telling people don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive. It's like, dude, like life is generally fucking negative. Like, there's a lot of negative shit that happens. The positivity happens when you're able to pivot that shit and find it out, right? But the thing is like,
the negative.
It's exactly. It's like, if you don't have money and you're behind on bills, you're not going to catch up on your bills by sitting there, oh, it's going to be okay. That's not going to put food on the fucking table. No. The grit is what's going to put food on the table. The push through to the other side, doing the odd and end jobs to make ends meet, that's what's going to put food on the table. And the positivity, the real positivity, the needed positivity, is the point of accomplishment that you fed your family.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the positive consequence, man, of the grit, the action.
Exactly.
It's the effect from your cause you put into action, which is magic. I mean, this is Occult 101, guys. Why can't people grasp this? It's elementary, my dear Watson.
Exactly.
Real talk. Elementary. It's elementary magic, but we got a bunch of 62 IQ Meguses out here, Magi on Facebook, trying to teach something.
Oh, God, this shit irritates me. Everybody's a fucking magus. Everybody's a guru. Everybody's a fucking fifth dawn.
Well, you are
of the Wong,
You are if you are. But if you aren't, you aren't.
But the problem is,
if you are, you are.
Yeah, but the problem is most people that call themselves that aren't.
Well, yeah, I know. High priestess this, high priestess that. You know, I'm ordained. It doesn't mean shit.
Same.
You know,
I
it
mean,
doesn't mean shit.
I call myself
Anybody could probably go to a Universal Life Church now and get ordained in something in a
Yeah.
couple hours.
Yeah,
It
dude,
took me a couple of years, but still.
you can get ordained in like 5 minutes
Yeah.
online. Like
Yeah.
I'm ordained by I don't know how many online churches because I always forget what was the last online church I was ordained at. So I go to another one and I get ordained again. So I have so many ordination papers, and so you guys will see like I put reverend in front of my name. I don't do that because I legitimately consider myself a reverend. I just think it sounds fucking cool, and
Yeah, right.
you know, like, but I'm going to admit that, right? Like I'm not a fucking reverend. I mean, I'm ordained, so why the fuck not, right?
Well, yeah, I'm a guru in Filipino martial arts. I'm a guru, ranked. I don't like that. I don't like that title though. I don't like to use it because I don't think it sounds cool. I think it sounds like sketchy,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's use another example of this positivity bullshit. Tarot, modern tarot here on YouTube. You go to any random YouTube channel right now that specializes in reading tarot, and you're going to find a lot of individuals that are always telling you about how you are days away from your financial breakthrough. Your life is about to change. You just stepped into another timeline. All your enemies are going to fall. It's the same message every week. Same person saying the same message every fucking week. And it's the same people watching every fucking week. And it's the same people believing this message that never comes to fruition every week.
Yep.
So at what point in time, from the age 25 to 75, have you become rich? Because it was supposed to happen 3 days after the first time you watched the bitch.
Right.
But you're sitting around waiting,
Doing nothing.
doing nothing.
See, I have an understanding about my life and where my life is right now. So the first part of my life, what I focused on up until like the last year was I wanted a family. Like that was my focus. It wasn't finances. It wasn't money. It wasn't, all of this shit. It was family. Like I wanted, family, and I have that now. And I'm with someone that, I love, I care about, and they love and care about me. And, it's a healthy relationship. We talk to each other, all that fun shit. Now, and here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing to understand. Like I'm almost 40. It's never too late to pivot and refocus your energy onto what you want to achieve. So my initial part was I wanted to have somebody to share success with, right? Now that I have someone that I feel I can share that with and supports me while I'm not successful in certain things, I know that this person's I know Dyra is going to stick around, and definitely be around once that success comes. And that's the focus. And she supports that. She supports the vision. She supports the idea, And so it's never too late to pivot in your life to refocus on things. Like, so people sit there and think, well, I wasted my life and I didn't do this. I agree with Gary Vee. I'm sorry. Like at 40, like you're still young. You're still young at 40. Like, I mean, it's not even halftime yet. Like, honestly, like as long as the energy's there, and that's the thing. Like, I literally had people, I don't think I look this young, but I've had people look at me and say, well, you look 28, you look 30, you look 35, you don't look like you're almost 40. And I don't have a skincare routine. I eat like shit. I smoked for half of my life. The reason I think I look as young as I do, and the reason why I think, for example, like, creatives will look very young for a very long time. And look at fucking David Bowie. I mean, the dude looked like he was 40 up until the day he fucking died. And I think what it is, it's the drive It's not just physical,
Yeah.
it's
It's fire.
psychological. As long as you got that passion and you're still moving and you're not settling, like your body's going to keep doing what it needs to do because it's in
Yes.
that, like we need to survive.
Yeah.
We need to keep going. We're not done
Yeah.
yet.
That's the thing. It's about momentum. Bruce Lee said, flowing water never grows stale. And, this is why my family knows I get very upset if I don't stay moving, if I
Mm-hmm.
don't stay creative. I get psychologically disturbed because I feel like I'm being oppressed.
Same thing,
I
man.
feel like I'm being murdered. I
I'm.
really, I feel threatened. Like, don't tell me I'm not going to the gym, dude. Don't
Mm-hmm.
don't tell me I'm not gonna go outside and punch on something. Don't tell me
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because I'm gonna. You know what I
100%.
mean? Because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. Um, and I'll tell you why I know that. Because when I first moved here, I got taken away from my daughter, and I got very depressed, and so I didn't move.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, my health, my state of mind, everything just went to shit. And I started to look like fucking death.
Mm-hmm.
I was fucking dead,
Yeah.
a breathing dead man. And that's what I felt like. I started walking to get out of the depression, guys. And I would take a traditional mala, and on each bead, I'd recite something I was grateful for. Okay. Not lying, not superficial positivity, but literally trying to dig deep,
Mm-hmm.
And I would sometimes think I'm lying to myself, like, oh, I'm grateful for my enemies. Yeah, right. But then I had to really think about it though, guys. And I'd be like, well, they really have shown me that I'm still standing.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually can be grateful for them.
Yep.
I'm grateful for those fucking trees over there. Yeah, right. But they produce oxygen and I can breathe. So I actually can be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to get rewired up here. So when these depressing thoughts would come in, they wouldn't fit. It's like I have too much to be grateful for. This doesn't even make sense. So it's easier for me to reject it. Go away.
Mm-hmm.
Go away. So my positivity now, it's not just words, man. It's rejecting the negative thoughts and staying in positive action
Mm-hmm.
in my life by living my life.
100%, man.
The inauthenticity sucks, guys. Fuck Bonnie yesterday. I had one point in time where her family sat down and lectured her for using tarot cards. And I had to stick up for Bonnie because she's at her family's house and they're ragging on her, dude, for having a tarot.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, they're on the phone talking about this tarot reader they were watching. And I'm like, you fake motherfuckers,
Mm-hmm.
you pieces of shit. I started to go off. Bonnie's like, no, 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 no. But that's how I am because I'm
Mm-hmm.
real. Like you were just cussing her out about this shit 3 years ago, how she's going to go to hell for this.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's all cool. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
This is fake. Like you can't, if if you are a Bible thumping, Bible believing Christian, like you say you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you are built in the image of God, you are to be the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Your ideologies have obviously changed. You're not a Christian. You're
Mm-hmm.
lukewarm.
Yep.
That sort of inauthenticity never ceases to stir my soul to rage,
Yeah. No,
and it's prevalent.
that reminds me of like, so last week when Dyra's mother was here, We went to probably is like one of the most posh malls in the city. And so Dyra always has to get on an elevator because of the baby, right? We have a 5-week-old baby. And so with the stroller, she has to get on an elevator to go up and down floors at the mall. And so there's this elevator that stopped that had like 3 people on it, and there wasn't enough room for me and, you know, my oldest. So I was like, well, you two, you know, take the baby, go on the elevator, and then we'll hit the escalator and we'll meet you up there. And as they're getting on the elevator, the door starts to close and basically latches onto the stroller, and everybody in the elevators just kind of looking at him. I like, you know, her mother had to go over and push the door open, and I'm like, I'm looking at everybody and I was like, are you guys fucking, so you useless pieces of fucking shit. Like, you see a woman with a stroller with a baby getting on the elevator, the door fucking closes on the goddamn thing, and you're just standing there like a bunch of fucking retards. Like, it's like, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And everybody's like in the elevator. Like, I said this, and everybody's in the elevator just kind of looking at me like, and I was like, dude, I wanted to choke slam a motherfucker. You know, like, I was like, how fucking useless can you be? Like, you can't
It's
even.
bad.
Like,
the uselessness is terrible, dude. IQ, I'm telling you, man, it's terrible. I mean, there's high school teachers quitting because high school kids can't read and communicate or comprehend. You know what I mean? The military considers an IQ of 72 as incapable. You can't perform a job. And that's average, which means AI is going to replace a lot of us. That's their plan.
Well, yeah. If you can't, you don't have people that can fucking think for themselves, so might as well fucking have an AI that can at least do the fucking job without asking questions, you know?
Right.
Or getting confused while doing it. Dude, it's just, and so here's like, when the next part here, like, because we haven't defined grit, and I think people understand what we're talking about grit, but I want to define it. So when I talk about grit, I'm talking about sustained passion and sustained effort combined. All right. For me, that is what grit is. You have a sustained passion for something, and you have a sustained effort in that passion, right?
Yep.
And so when you have grit can almost guarantee success, because not everyone has grit. Not everyone has grit. Like, not anyone can just develop that. Like, you have to like really fucking want something, you know, to be able to have the passion and the effort at the same time to get something working, right? Also, here's another quick thing real quick. If anybody's offended by me using certain words, don't hang out in the channel. Like, I'm not like, I really hate, like, I hate the changing like murder and death and suicide to unalived, unaliving. It's the same fucking thing. Like, if you are so goddamn sensitive that a word triggers you, bro, like, you need to deal with your shit. You really do need to deal with your shit, because that says so much more about you than it does about me. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, it's also proper English.
Exactly, right?
Like saying, I'm gonna unalive somebody. That's not proper English. You're intentionally making yourself more stupid. I hope you understand that.
Right?
Oh, that poor person got essayed.
Oh, right. Oh, that's another thing that irritates the shit out of me.
Man. Hey, I'm so see. This is why people's IQs are so low, though. They are dogs listening to their fucking Democrat masters. Fucking Jesus God.
Well, it's like we talked about.
Burn in hell, all you motherfuckers.
Right. It's like, for example, I talked about, you know, people punish people for using those words. Yeah, I know they do. But the thing is like, I'm not looking to get, you know, like, for my videos to blow up here. Like, I'm looking for, I want to be authentic, man. Like there's so many people that are so careful about the shit that they're saying, and it's like, I'm not going to cater to the fucking algorithm. I'm not going to do it.
No.
Like, I'm not going to. I'm here to create. I'm here to make content. I'm here to be authentic. I'm here to be genuine. And the thing is trying to censor myself because a platform wants to act like a parent. Fuck them.
No.
Right? It's not
Right, grounding there.
Right? It's like it's honestly like the whole censorship thing is just, it's absolute fucking bullshit. It really is. And I really don't give a shit. Like if they want to fucking flag my shit and say it's not advertiser friendly, cool. I don't care. I don't fucking care. You know, it's the people that need to find me will find me. Right? I'm out there enough that the people that need to find me, they will. Right? But it's you even see it in AI, right? Like when you put, like, there's certain things that I've put through, like people that I've never not been open about this. Everything I write myself. But because of ADHD and dyslexia, I make a lot of mistakes when I'm writing. What I do with what I use with AI, punctuation, grammar, and spelling, that's it. Everything's mine. But there are certain things that I've written that I've noticed that even AI will change the words because it in the system it has a red flag that says, oh, we can't use that word. And it's like censorship is everywhere. Yeah. This is the problem with this false positivity, this comfort culture, this culture of needing to not be offended, right? You're going to sit there and tell me that Eminem and Marilyn Manson had to deal with grand juries, government oppression for what they were saying, to be able to say the shit that they were saying in their songs. And now we have to deal with fucking YouTube, OpenAI, fucking, and all of this shit saying that you can't say this.
Oh my God. You should have heard. You should have heard the show Bonnie was watching today. Oh my God. The things that were said, I almost threw up cooking. They were talking about, I can't even say it. What was the name of that show, babe? The one you were watching that was talking all the crazy shit. What? The one you were just watching moments ago. Anyway, they were talking about people hanging from trees.
Mm-hmm.
A specific color people hanging from trees. And this is, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Never seen the show, dude. I don't watch TV. Like, what? The shit that they were saying in the show, I'm like, really? How are they even playing this? Because now, if kids were to hear that shit now, they would look at their parents and cry, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like perfect example of what you're talking about, American History X, right? So American History X, what I appreciate about that movie, it succeeded in showing how vile racism is without watering it down. Right? And I think that that's the thing that's needed, right? Is we need not to water things down, because the thing is when you're able to see how truly vile something is, it makes you think. Right? Like the fact that you can't say certain things on TikTok and shit like that. But I actively see TikTok channels dedicated to Aryan race, dedicated to, white pride in like all of the shit. I'm like, people have lost the fucking script.
Yeah.
Right? They've lost the fucking script. Like everything is on its fucking head right now.
Everything.
Back in the 90s, like the grittiness, the rawness of movies and TV and stuff like that had a point. It wasn't romantic. Like American History X did not romanticize racism. It did not romanticize, neo-Nazis. It showed you how absolutely unbelievably disgusting these groups were, right? Unfiltered, right? You know, I mean, for fuck's sake, I mean, you know, you essentially watch somebody get curb stomped and then you watch a guy get raped in prison, you know, and it's like on top of that, you like the mentality and the idea and then like how they would recruit people, none of it was watered down. And the thing was, is it succeeded in showing you, one, not only is this shit disgusting, but two, hate is learned. That was the whole point. That type of hate is learned. It's taught because the two primary characters.
I got to add one thing. It also taught how one person can choose to change, but that doesn't mean that that person's actions still aren't going to kill somebody in the end.
Exactly.
Because you can be sorry all you want and you can change, but sometimes it's too late.
Yep.
You should have thought of that beforehand.
Exactly. And so the thing is like it showed so many different aspects of things that people can change, people can learn to do things differently, the consequences of your actions without filtering it, without watering it down. And the thing is so many people today would look at that. If that movie came out today, fuck, man, there'd be picket lines outside of the fucking theater. I mean, they fucking they tried to boycott Joker when Joker first came out, you know, and it's like Joker wasn't anywhere near as bad as like American History X, you know, and Joker, I think again was like one of those movies. I think Joker's probably one, like in the last 10, 15 years, probably one of the best movies to come out as far as like showing like the mental health, the effects of not dealing with your shit, the lack of help inside of the governmental systems that are in place to help people with mental health, you know, like all of these things, you know, were shown in it and they're like, oh no, it's romanticizing this. And no, it's not.
But what's happening is I've noticed that the world's becoming where it's breeding people that they are romanticizing life, but because it's everything's fake, everything's so padded down and you know nicely wrapped. Because like okay, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she literally plotted her own mother's murder, used a guy that has very low IQ to do it. Actually, just use him as it was awful. Anyway, and she says she does not consider herself a murderer because she's not the one that actually did it. Like, legitly pulls herself away.
And you think we'd have learned about that, like, after fucking Charles Manson. Right?
Well, I mean, see, here's the thing. I agree, though. Gypsy Rose Blanchard isn't a murderer.
She planned it though. Now
it doesn't matter.
Now everybody else.
She's not a murderer. What did it happen? No, but that's called low IQ.
It's just
some dude prioritizing pussy over brains.
Such a low IQ though. She literally.
But that's prevalent. That's today. That's normal. Yeah, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. You know, luckily, when we have podcasts like this, shows like this, people like this, the people you have here, we can think. People are here because they want to think. People are here because they want to hear different aspects, perceptions. But most people listening to that shit, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, if you listen to these people, they're all retarded.
Yeah. So going
anybody that's weird.
So furthering down the line, so of kind of like the psychology of grit here, right? So we talked about what grit is, right? So now like the mentality for it here, right? So influence of adversity on psychological strength. Adversity, right? Hardship increases internal authority, right? When you go through hardship, when you struggle, you grow. Like we understand in the occult in general, generally speaking, what we should understand at the very least is when something is difficult, generally speaking, it's worth doing, right? And if we look at, for example, Angela Duckworth, right, on like her piece Grit, right, is research on pervasiveness as a key predictor of success. being that, having that push, that drive, that motivation, being perseverance is a key predictor of success. If you can persevere through difficulty, you have a higher likelihood of success. If you're playing the professional victim all the goddamn time, right? I've said this before and I'll say it again. You're depending on other people to validate you. You're not validating yourself. Being a victim, a professional victim, and putting yourself out there and trying to do the love and light thing and being a victim all the goddamn time, your power is completely dictated by whether or not people believe in your struggle. And your struggle is necessary for your success, not the overcoming of your struggle. Because once you overcome the struggle, you're no longer of interest to the people and the foundation that you've built around you, right?
And then not only that, your struggle isn't real because you're a professional victim.
Because
it's not, you're it's
staying
not
in
real
it.
struggle.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got the baby over here, and you gotta constantly adjust him because he slides down in a thing and then he kind of goes like this.
Yeah, I remember.
So
I remember.
So yeah, and then also if Taleb in Anti-Fragile, right? Systems grow stronger through stress and volatility. All right.
Yes.
And this has been shown. Like, I mean, the reason why, like, people sit there and think, like, talk trash about the United States and the shit that we've done in the past as a country. But if you look at the system has grown stronger because of those things. The reason it's falling apart now is because we got people that want to blame the system for things that it's corrected already, right? And sit there and say that, well, they're oppressed. And it's like, I posted something yesterday on Instagram. It's like, America is the only place where a kid is going to wear a $175 pair of shoes, drink a $6 coffee, and post on a $1,200 phone and talk about being oppressed. Like, are you fucking for real?
Yeah. Spoil little bitches, man.
Yeah, exactly.
A bunch of little boys, and listen, in their heads, I'll knock him out with one punch. But can't get up out of bed. You know what I mean?
Right? Can't hold down a job. It's the system's fault. And the thing is the reason I'm able to talk this shit is because I was one of them. I was one of them, man. I couldn't hold a job. I was homeless 3 times in 3 different fucking countries. I was one of those people that blamed everybody else until I realized, hey, guess what? It's not the system. It's you.
It's always us. Every problem we always have is us. And we always want someone else to fix it. We have to be able to engage with our life. And see, the problem is, and this is where, I've been homeless. I still don't hold down a fucking job. I make my money. I don't earn money.
Mm-hmm.
There's this fucking idea, though, that success means never have been through hardship. And that just doesn't make sense to me because hardship is what makes success.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You are not going to be a good boxer or fighter if you don't lose.
Yeah.
If you don't get hit a lot.
Mm-hmm. You have to know how to take a punch.
If you don't get beat down, you're not going to do it, dude. You're not going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You can look good hitting a heavy bag.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the same thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's always this point where the rubber meets the road, and that resilience, it is key. Very recently, I had somebody get into my Gmail account. Someone essentially pretended that they were some language learning program wanting to affiliate with me on YouTube. They sent me a phishing link. Deleted my entire fucking YouTube channel.
Damn.
5 years worth of work. 500 videos.
Mm-hmm.
started another channel from scratch. In my mind, I'm thinking, it's a fresh slate. I'll be able to organize it better, expand playlists, but I'm doing this.
Yep.
I only had 67 subs. Bonnie's like, I just give up. No. What are you talking about? Like, this is when you don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
This is when you just now get started. This is when you push harder, dude. This is what hardship is. This is what resilience is. This is what perseverance is.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is,
you don't give up.
I agree. Ever. Yeah, you don't. Like people have like told me that I probably should, I should give up because like, when I do these lives, I've got, 10, 15, 20 people watching. And I'm like, look, if there's one thing that I understand, if I have 10, 15, 20 people watching me, there's thousands of people out there that would also watch this content. It's getting it out there, right? Because it doesn't stop at 10, 15, 20. Right. Also, just quickly, Unsought Seeker in the chat. So that depends on your definition of discipline. So if you're saying discipline without devotion to self is simply self-directed violence, you're thinking of discipline in the sense of disciplining a child or discipline as a corrective action. When I say discipline, I'm talking about showing up when you don't want to. That's discipline, right? When you say disciplining a child, you discipline a child, right? It's to teach a child in corrective action to have discipline, to behave a certain way, even when they don't want to behave that way. I think that discipline as using the term discipline as corrective action is a misuse of the term, because the term discipline as corrective action is used to describe the teaching of discipline. Right? Not disciplining as in corrective action. So the definition, when you hear me say discipline, I am never talking about discipline as corrective action. I'm talking about discipline as showing up when you don't want to, right? Exactly. When you don't want to do something, you still show up and you still do it because you have to, right? Whether that's for yourself, for your family, or whatever. That is, how I use discipline. So I wouldn't describe discipline without devotion to self as simply as self-directed violence, because if you are showing discipline, then you are showing that you care about yourself, because you need to care about yourself to be disciplined enough to do something when you don't want to do it, to know that this is better for you to do this thing even though you don't want to. I think a lack of discipline and not showing discipline in life is self-violence. That is self-deprecation, because you're hurting yourself by not exercising discipline in your life. So to show exactly. So to show discipline is to show devotion to yourself, right? Like,
it can't exist, because discipline has nothing to do with fucking violence. Get out of here. The fuck out of here.
Like I
See, this is what I'm saying. People are pussies, man. People are sissies. Get the fuck out of here, pussy.
So that's how I put it.
It's not violent. It's not violence, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't
Doing
see.
something you don't want to do. That's violent. Oh baby.
So going forward, right? So you don't get to become sovereign while avoiding friction, right? Going and furthering this thing with grit, right? You don't get to become sovereign while avoiding friction. Every piece of metal worth forging had to endure heat. Human will is no different. Grit is not inherited. It is sculpted by repetition, failure, and a refusal to collapse. You refuse to fold under the pressure. That's where the grit comes from, right?
That's right. That's discipline. And that is devotion to self. That's not violence.
Well,
that's molding yourself. That's understanding that this is your original point. Life is negative. It's the pounding and folding of the steel. It's the heat. But that's what makes the refined blade. That is the personality.
Mm-hmm.
That is the self. You either want to be sharp or you want to be a fucking weak tool sitting in the garage, rusty, doing nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1 second.
But discipline, it can be a very interesting subject because people are going to, because of past trauma, as soon as they hear discipline, they think of mommy and daddy beating them, drinking,
Mm-hmm.
abusing them. But that's just violence. That's not discipline.
Exactly. That's uncalled for violence.
Right. Exactly.
And the problem,
and you know what that is. I know what that is.
I lived it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, though,
You lived it worse than I did. So,
modern culture, unfortunately, treats, discomfort as harm, right? If something is uncomfortable to you, then it's harmful. And, this is a point that we talked about last night where there's a differential. Sometimes, if you're trying to force yourself into a box and it just doesn't fit, then maybe you're not meant for that box and you need to move the fuck on. But that doesn't apply to everything. It's just because something is difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Most of the time when something is difficult, it means there's something at the end of that you need to obtain.
Yeah. Dude. See, for me, this is what tells me I should be doing something. Opposition is opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I live by. You know what I mean? Even, we've been walking around with fucking walking pneumonia. Dude, progress in the gym, shit. I lost fucking 10, 15 pounds. Went from leg pressing 500 to like 350. Because I feel like shit. It doesn't matter. I still just went. You still just go. You show up. Because that's what you're supposed to do. It's not about showing up and doing perfectly every time. Mm-hmm. It's about understanding that the more you show up, the more flight time and experience you're getting, the more calloused and refined your soul becomes, and the sharper you become as an individual, mm-hmm. as a tool of the divine, as a sword of the divine, The discipline is necessary. And it can be seen as violence because discipline is self-love. Lack of self-discipline is self-violence. Drinking all the time, self-violence. Doing drugs all the time, self-violence.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah. Not being able to have your own thoughts, having to constantly be online. Mm-hmm. That's self-violence.
Yep.
And we're all capable of it. We all do it. We all abuse ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I think the point that like Unsought Seeker was going for was this kind of separating the idea of discipline and self-devotion. Yeah. I just look at them as combined. I think if you have discipline, you are devoted to yourself because there needs to be devotion to your own success and to your own survival in order to have discipline on any level. Because they did say that they use it in the same sense, but then continue as it's without deep devotion to self, you will always spiral into failures regardless. And I think. I think that's where the discipline comes in to show the devotion to self, right? Is without devotion, you don't have discipline, and you can't have the discipline without, the devotion to your own success and to your own well-being. So I just look at those two things as interchangeably combined. Like you can't have one without the other. That's how I view it. Now, unfortunately, in society, most people are looking at, discomfort as harm. They're looking at grit as toxic in most mainstream spaces. I want to quote Nietzsche here. It's like, you have your way, I have my way. As far as the right way, it does not exist. There is no one right way to do things, right? And that is a philosopher that I greatly respect. I would not consider myself a nihilist by any means, but I don't believe there is one way to do things. I don't think that there's one way about it, but I do believe that there are certain things that are required to obtain certain things, right? It's not a way of doing things. It's a necessity to find your way to do things. Discipline and grit are necessary to find the right path to get to where you want to go. That path is going to be different from mine, and my path is different from yours. But the things that don't change is the discipline and the grit that is necessary to obtain those things and go down that path. Because yes, there are going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be failures. And here's the thing. People talk about failure like it's a bad thing. You know, failure sucks. It hurts. But guess what?
It's what we need.
You need to fail.
Yeah.
Like if you want to succeed, if you want to succeed, if you want to have a good business, if you want to make money, if you want to be financially, you know, free, make friends with failure, because you're going to do it a lot.
Yes, opposition is opportunity, my friends. This is fact. And we can use the same analogy. You could use boxing. What was Rocky, what was it, 2 or 3 all about? When he fought Mr. T, Clubber Lang, he ain't never been tested.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky is a chump. Never been tested. The title was handed to him. He's a showboat. That's what that movie was all about.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that loss and turning it into victory. But that's what success is. You're not going to get the skill without the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be tested under pressure. The steel has to be folded, heated, beaten, fire and ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is. It's the way it is. There's no success without it.
You know, we talk about blades. Like, it reminds me of, you know, Japanese folded steel. You know, and the funny thing with Japanese folded steel, here's the thing. So you have all of these blades that are made with modern technology and stuff like that, but the best blades on the best blades on the planet are still traditionally made Japanese folded steel blades. And they haven't changed the way that they make those fucking things in over 2,000 years. Like, so, you know, that speaks to, you know, sometimes the modern way of doing things isn't the best way of doing things. And Japanese culture really does. There's a lot of things I disagree with when it comes to Japanese culture. And I know like the anime freaks are going to hate me for that, but we're not going to talk about those pieces. But the persistence of not changing something when it works and in being proven that it still works when modern innovation comes in to do something, and the old school traditional way is still the best way to do it. Like a Japanese blade, a real folded steel Japanese blade will run you, like if we're talking like a katana, will run you upwards of $10,000. And that's a shit one.
Yeah, but you could drop a piece of paper on it and it'll slice in half.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that speaks to the idea that sometimes when it comes to, you know, traditional ways of doing things, sometimes it is the best way of doing things. Sometimes it's not a good
That's
idea.
Why the tradition is still around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't need to be modernizing everything. Like this is when it comes to, you know, my practice, I wouldn't push this on anybody, but I do things very traditionally. Like I go back as far as I can to how this shit like was done back in the day, right? Not 1960s back in the day. We're talking the 1600s or before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I try to respect the traditions and maintain my practice and how I go into ritual and how I do these things, you know, traditional, because our ancestors, the people before us, the occultists before us, before it was even called the occult, they were able to do shit that we can only dream of. And there's something to that. There's something to be said for that, right? You know, and like we sit there with our modern iterations of, you know, magical practice, and we're like, oh, why can't I do this? Or why doesn't this work? Or why doesn't that work? And it was, well, because you're kind of making it up as you go along.
Right.
You know, you don't want to follow.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Like,
this is a great example. Like modern magic uses 4 elemental gates. But if we take this bitch back to Babylon, they didn't call on the 4 elements. They called on the 4 winds.
Mm-hmm.
They called on 4 winds at the 4 directions. And so you hear people talking about working Babylonian magic according to tradition, and they're using the elemental gates. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's not traditional. Babylonians didn't do that. I thought you did your homework.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? You don't have the discipline, the grit, obviously, because this isn't tradition. It's not what Babylonians did. I know, because I've learned under Michael Ford, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's just, you're not doing it. You're making this shit up. Just say that now, or I'm going to do a video on you. You know, like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
Fucking
it is.
liars. But the traditions exist because they work, and that's why they stick around. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, do what works and listen to the people that came before you. They have wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel.
People, yeah, everyone thinks it's all gatekeeping. That's not what it's about. It's about actually teaching you, dummy.
Mm-hmm.
No one's gatekeeping you.
Mm-hmm.
You should be lucky that not anybody can go do heart surgery for you. You need to have a gatekeeper, I guess. Somebody that makes sure that doctor knows what they're doing. Why should it be any different in the occult? I'll tell you why. Because people want to charge $2,000 to light a candle, and they don't want to have grit.
Uh-huh. Exactly. 100%.
Fucking life.
100%. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the thing is like with the whole tradition thing, it's like, again, like I said, I don't think it's necessary to reinvent the wheel, right? And, you know, I just feel like people just want an easier way of doing things. So they try to just kind of like do things their own way. And to a certain degree, okay, you need to work with what you got and do the best that you can. But at the same time, respect those that came before you. We all talk about ancestor work and doing ancestor work. A lot of us do. And the thing is a lot of the people that I've run into that talk about doing ancestor work, kind of, in my opinion, it's like disrespecting your ancestors to completely change a practice that they had down packed and were able to do things that, like I said, we can only fucking dream of doing. You know, like, I mean, having like, you know, the village shaman or, you know, the village witch, you know, wasn't, you know, an uncommon thing. I mean, if you look at the Celts, you look at the Druids, you look at those cultures. I mean, magic wasn't just something they did. It was life. You know, it was in every aspect of everything.
It still is. This is how I teach, and no one wants to believe me. You're not a magician if you can't live your own life. You have to engage with your life. Because life is magic. And if you don't live your life, you don't believe in magic, you don't believe in God, you don't believe in yourself, the fuck are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but that's the point. Let's do it so we can achieve. That's the whole point. It's hard.
Yeah.
Achieving, overcoming, to come out of the other side stronger, better, more evolved, more refined, like that Japanese sword.
Yeah, and I feel like my obsession with in love for the left-hand path, because I know, like, we've discussed this, like, you're with yourself, that like you don't kind of like define yourself as solely left-hand path, and I wouldn't say that I do either, but it's definitely a focus. And I feel that in the left-hand path philosophy and left-hand path culture, it holds on to tradition a little bit better than other philosophies and ideas that exist in the occult. You know, a lot of people give me shit, for example, like with the whole Baphomet thing. And here's the thing. Baphomet, you can it goes back further than this, but if you really want to go, and it's funny, I brought this up, and I've started noticing people using this now. And this, if you see other people doing this, this is a me thing, because nobody else was fucking doing it before I did. All right, at least that I'm aware of. Baphomet traces all the way back to the goat of Mendes. Right, Baphomet isn't just a representation or a symbol. Baphomet is a modernized name and image for a very old entity that has existed for a very long time. And the work that I do, that I call Baphometic tradition, it's goat of Mendes, guys. Like it's even beyond that. And I just say Baphometic tradition because it has a better ring to it than saying, goat of I work with the goat of Mendes. But that's how far back it goes. Like people kind of stop with the whole levy thing, and it's like, you need to go further back than that.
Yeah, the modern Baphomet image is modern. Mm-hmm. The male female image, like, yeah, you're right. It goes back far older. The original symbol of what Baphomet currently was not, what would you call that? It's not, I don't know, dual gendered.
It wasn't. No, the goat of Mendes wasn't.
I mean, it was, but like, okay, it has breasts and a penis. The other one was just non-gendered.
But it still represented the same thing without. Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was agender instead of bigender.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Just fucking said what I was trying to.
And
that's interesting. And again, that proves your point, because there's two ways to express the same idea.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. So there can't just be one way. Baphomet and the goat of Mendes is one example, and that's also, I believe, the original source for LaVey's sigil of Satan, isn't it?
I do believe so. Because the thing was he didn't use LaVey's symbolism, because the goat head that's used, I'm looking at it right now. It's right above my desk. The goat image it's not the same goat image that's used in LaVey's image. It's literally just a goat. Like, I think that correlation was made, later. And so, and I have a hard time calling that the sigil of Baphomet. Like, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a pentagram. It doesn't lend itself to me as being a sigil. It's something that was created for advertising purposes, right? Now, the magic that it has is egregoric at best, because so many people work with it. Even though, I mean, that's again a modern definition of egregore, but so it's just kind of like, in the book, there was a sigil that was given to me in the work that I've done. I showed you the cover, I believe. Did I show you the cover work yet? I sent that to you, right?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, that is the sigil that was, given to me, in, the work that I've done with Baphomet. And I've been waiting for the release of the book to show it publicly.
Right.
So, it's just kind of like one of those things that, like, I feel like, I'm not trying to say that, like, I have like the actual sigil of Baphomet, but I do. And, it's nothing like what LaVey's sigil is. It's nothing. So it's there. I think Treesap, I think you've seen it. I mean, she was one of the supporters that paid for the initial setup of the whole thing. So she's got the book without your forward and the cover artwork. Once your forward is done, then that's when everything's gonna be released.
Oh yeah.
But so moving forward with this, right? Because there's still a lot more I want to talk about. So the next part is the whole reason of me mentioning left-hand path was because for me, the left-hand path is confrontation, not avoidance. It is accepting confrontations. Yes. It is pain as a revelatory teacher. Pain teaches.
Pleasure. It becomes pleasurable. It's sadism. Let's call it what it is. It's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, it's like working out. It's like going to the gym, right? It's like you need to put yourself into a position where like when I go to the gym and my body hurts afterwards, like I remember when I first started being like going to the gym, I hated it. But then a couple weeks into it, a month into it, like if my body didn't hurt leaving the gym, I know I didn't push myself hard enough.
Right. Well, yeah. And this goes back to the original point. If you're not failing, you're not growing. If you're going to the gym and you're doing what you can do, you're wasting your time. You have to push beyond your limits and do what you can do.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how I've been able to put on 20 pounds in the past fucking 6 months. It's constantly pushing myself to do what I can't do. And I'm still a thin guy. But it's always about beating myself up. Let's call it what it is. It's sadism.
It is. But
it's
I feel
not so violence though.
But again, like I feel that's positivity though. I feel like doing that in the right way, it's positivity. Because you're gaining something from it.
Yeah. And you are conditioning the mind to deal with hardship because life is hard. Exactly. When you're not pushing yourself to do what you can't do, you're not training yourself to achieve the impossible. And that's what magic is about.
100%. 100%.
And if you want to be practical and put all the mysticism aside, you're not going to get there in any other way outside of actual positivity. And in order to do that, you have to see the negativity and face it. And you're right, it's a conflict. It's resistance. It's a push. It's a fight.
It is.
And if you don't like the fight, you're going to stop fighting.
And then you're going to die.
And you're taking yourself out of the game.
Well, I mean, that's what life is, though. Life is a fight. Like, I mean, you find peace in the things that you build around you, like your family, your connections, the connections that you have around you are the things that give you peace. Like, I mean, I've always talked about, in incorporating and intertwining magic into your daily practices, everything that you do in the day, into little ways, and I do that. Not everyone has to, but for me, magic or, occultism isn't just something I talk about or something that I do. It's something I live. It's something that I breathe. It's intertwined with everything that I do every fucking day.
Everything.
With my family, with my food, with this thing that I'm doing now, and it's a struggle. It's a fight because there's days that you don't want to do it. And that's where the fight comes in. That's where you need to come up on top of yourself. Right. Yeah. It just is what it is. And the thing is this addiction to comfort, like this comfort addiction, it stagnates sorcery. It stagnates everything. Peace isn't comfort. They're not interchangeable. It's not the same thing. Nor should it ever be. If you look at there's James Hillman, right? The Soul's Code, right? The necessity of challenge to activate the daemon.
Yeah.
Growth is violent in its sincerity. It tears, it strips, it reveals. Toxic positivity it is terrified of this, right? It demands the child's version of spirituality, the sugar-coated lie, like the soft apology for existing, right?
Right. Fuck you.
But
that's the left-hand path. The left-hand path says fuck you and your soft apology. I am who I am. Take it or leave it.
Exactly.
And if you leave it, good.
The adversary
Because
doesn't
we're cutting the
apologize.
cord. Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're on to something there, because it's important to understand that. And this is why I think we start to differentiate ourselves between left-hand path, right-hand path. But man, what we're really talking about at the end of the day is two different kinds of fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
Is it two spiritual paths? Or are we talking about two spiritual paths that were built for two different kinds of people? And maybe none of them are walking the path that they're supposed to be walking. See, that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about walking my path.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't use those terms, left-hand path, right-hand path. But I understand what they are. And I understand what people mean when they use them.
Mm-hmm.
I just have these little quirks in my head.
But like I said in our last episode that we did together, like the way I define it is, I mean, this might not be a dictionary definition, but the way I define it is the right-hand path externalizes power and the left-hand path internalizes power. And I feel like there's more power when you are focused on self than there is when you're giving it away to something else. And so do we do that as people on the left-hand path, as left-hand path? Of course we do. I do rituals to demons. That's externalization of power, but I'm not giving it away. The focus is myself and my own power. Most of the time when I do a ritual, I've said this a million times, I don't call on anything. I don't talk to. Going to ritual isn't inherently needing to work with something else.
No, that's called evocation.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what I'm saying. Most of these people aren't real witches, man. They're not real occultists. They don't know the difference between any of this. They don't know that you can sit down and use symbolic language through the altar to communicate with the fabric of reality to create change. They don't understand spellcraft.
Mm-hmm.
They think you have to call on some demon to do something for you, or some angel.
And you don't.
No.
If you're not doing rituals with yourself, like your own power, like I beg you to try it, because the thing is you're going to open up a whole other world of shit that you didn't know existed. Because if you're only doing rituals with demons, angels, and gods and goddesses, then you're doing the same thing the fucking Christians do. Your right-hand path. You're externalizing all of your power and not focusing on the self.
Mm-hmm. See, that was my whole philosophy with evocation. It was more about learning how to do the shit myself. Okay, because, and this is something I teach all my students. Angel or demon, if you don't have that inner light, they don't care. They're not going to come. They're not going to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
100%.
They don't come. They don't care. You got to put in some time meditating, cultivating personal power, devotion to self, self-discipline. Like, this is done through routine. And this is what people don't understand, man. Everyone wants everything now. Burger King spirituality. Listen, in my day, the Golden Dawn, you would have to perform the LBRP for 3 years before you learned anything else. And the Magi are trained to look at your aura. They know if you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
If you're not doing it, they know, and they don't teach you. They just stop. If you're doing it every day, your aura starts to expand. It gets solid. You get strong. And that's when they teach you. And it's after 3 fucking years. Why? Because after 3 years, you've got the minimum conditioning to deal with spiritual forces beyond the physical world.
Mm-hmm. You do.
Now people want to try Kundalini meditation and get into the circle, evoke Satan, and sell their soul for wealth and fame.
Oh, it's
Like,
so. Oh, shit
it's
irritates.
really
It irritates the fuck out of me, man. That shit.
Yeah. It's sad because it's not what any of this is about. And I think that's where the positivity, how it fits in the left-hand path, because everyone acts like That's what magic is about. You just call on this demon and it'll grant your wishes.
Yep.
That's not how it works.
It isn't. It isn't. Right?
You have to work for sure.
Well, and that's what people are. That's what people are afraid of, man. They're afraid of the fucking work. I mean, to break it down like this, so to kind of like come to like the last part of this, right? The cultural consequences. So weak culture creates weak individuals, which is something that we're seeing too much of. And when I say weak, I don't mean physically weak necessarily, but like the worst kind of weak, which is psychologically fragile. Because when you have people that are incapable of dealing with criticism, incapable of dealing with things that offend them, incapable of having a conversation about, you know, contrasting ideas, these are the most dangerous types of people, because it's not just the idea that they can't have a conversation, but these are the people that are more likely to snap and go to extreme action to defend what it is that they're trying to defend, because they don't have a leg to stand on, right? And we're talking about violence. We're talking about that psychological fragility converts into physical violence. And that's where it becomes dangerous. And that's the problem with weaponized positivity, because it's run through the vein of like corporate America. We're seeing it in spiritual spaces, right? It's nobody wants to deal with anything that they disagree with. Everyone wants to live in an echo chamber and feel like, you know, that they're right.
Yeah. Yep. They do.
So
now what?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the freedom? Everyone just created slavery because of their preference for comfort with that approach, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Fuck.
You know, and it's like, just to give a supporting source with this, if you guys are familiar with Camus, the myth of Sisyphus, right? Sisyphus. Right, is the dignity of struggle. There's dignity in struggle, right? It's in the dignity of struggle. And I think that this is where kind of like the perversion comes from, is people say like, okay, there's dignity in struggle, so let's stay struggling. Let's be the victim all the time. The dignity in struggle isn't the struggle itself. It's the overcoming of the struggle. It's the work that's put in to overcome, right? People appreciate someone that has struggled in their life and has overcome that struggle because of the work that they put in to overcome, not the struggle itself. Right. And the problem is the focus in society today is the struggle itself. It's one of the things I talk about. If we go political, like without being specific, so many people like to talk about what the problems are. There's this problem, there's that problem, that this is a problem, these people are a problem. Okay, where are the solutions? Everybody knows that there's problems. There's problems everywhere. What are the solutions? Right? Like, nobody talks about a solution or what should be done to fix things. It's the whole idea of that fucking meme I keep talking about, is people that want change and people that want to change. Nobody's in the line for people that want to change, but everyone's on the line for people that want change. You can't have change if you can't change. Because the only thing you have control over is you.
That's right.
And that's it.
Yeah. See, and people want to think. And you can think you have control over others, guys. You can think that. But here's the truth. Any control you have over anybody, it's only because they pity you and they're allowing you to have it. You control no one.
Exactly.
You might have someone running around waiting on you hand and foot. But at the end of the day, they're not going to do that forever.
Exactly.
And when they're not there, you're not going to be capable of wiping your own ass. What are you going to do then?
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I think is important to always remember here, and again, this is quoting Camus, is seeking truth is not seeking what is desirable. truth is not always what is comfortable. To seek the truth is not to seek comfort or a desired outcome. It is to seek what is true, regardless of what it is. And
I fucking hate truth.
They do. People do hate the truth. You know, we're not meant to be emotionally sedated. A culture that avoids discomfort produces citizens who can't withstand reality. Grit isn't optional. It is the backbone of becoming. It is the backbone of becoming whatever it is that you want to become. Like, you can't treat grit as an optional aspect of life. You can't treat truth like an optional aspect of life. Again, repeating something I said before, one of the things I fucking hate hearing the most is when people say my truth. And I'm like, truth is based on fact. It is objective fact. Now, again, let me preface this because people have said this. Can facts change? Yes, facts can change. But the process that is necessary to change a fact is not like that. It is a very long, drawn-out, egregious process to prove that something else exists in place of what is already proven. Truth is fact, right? And your truth isn't truth because your truth is subjective. Truth is objective. Your opinion, that's fine, but people don't like saying their opinion because it sounds less powerful, right?
Yeah. Well,
You know?
people always want to differ. See, I differentiate. Truth is not a fact. There is a level of subjectivity to truth. Fact, I don't think fact changes. Gravity exists. That's fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to change. Human beings might grow wings. We might evolve, get wings to be able to transcend that fact. But the fact is, gravity will always, it exists. It just does.
Mm-hmm.
So truth is subjective to a point. And people, and that's why Eastern philosophy, like Bruce said, my truth is not your truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. These are semantics, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think the point you're trying to say, though, is don't skew the fucking facts with your opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're different.
Exactly.
They're fucking different. They're
Exactly.
just different. Like, I have my opinion, and I feel that they're true opinions, but it doesn't mean they're facts.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I have an opinion of the left-hand path and the right-hand path, which is why I don't use those terms. It doesn't mean that it is fact. Those are logical paths in the world that exist. It's just a fact. And it's not a fact either that the left-hand path is bad or evil. It's not a fact that the right-hand path is good and
Mm-hmm.
righteous, you know, because it all comes down to individual interpretation, application of grit,
Mm-hmm.
where you direct that shit.
100%. 100%, man.
Yeah, man.
So, well, with that being said, guys, today's episode is going to be coming to a close. You know, again, Kurtis is going to be doing the forward of the book. I'm looking forward to reading it. By the way, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I have the published date for January 13th. So you got until about a week before that. So, I mean, take your time. And so I'm just excited to get this book out there and get everybody, you know, get everybody to read it and get everybody's opinions on it.
Yeah, they'll like it. They'll like it.
Yeah, if you're looking for fluff and stuff like that, it's definitely not that book because it's only like my part of the book's only 65 pages long. You know, it's a short read, but it covers what it needs to cover.
Well, you use powerful language though, powerful words. It makes it easier to read. It's not like reading a fucking Bible.
Right, which is what I kind of wanted to avoid.
Right.
So
yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
And so everybody remembers Satan and Coffee 3 days a week, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. times have changed to align with Central Standard, which is what I align with currently. So Wednesdays and Fridays are 7:30 in the morning Central Standard, and Sundays are 11 a.m. Central Standard, just so everybody is aware. And again, thank you everyone for coming out, being out, hanging out with Kurtis and I. Kurtis, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Pleasure.
So are you going to start doing videos again and doing those on like those live sessions that you were doing before? Because I remember you were doing like Friday.
Yeah.
The whole reason I moved the show to Saturdays was because you were doing Friday nights. So
Yeah,
not to overlap.
I'm doing Friday night lives. I'm going to do Friday night lives again, probably coming this Friday.
Okay, cool.
Starting this Friday, but my voice is kind of screwy from the pneumonia crap that's going around. So I want to be able to talk a little better. Everyone
Right.
forgive me for this. You know, I just wanted to show up. Great.
So, well, it's appreciated, man. It really is. So as always, I will end this the way that I started it. We reject the Trinity. We reject the baptism of John. We reject the baptism of the Spirit. And as always, hail thy fucking self. We'll see you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.
Peace.